My name is John Waboze. I'm a project manager, an Agile coach, and a life coach. Today, I want us to look into empiricism. What is empiricism? Empiricism has to do with learning based on observation and experience and examples. How can we bring this to life? But before that, let's just look at this theory itself. How does it come about? The knowledge of empiricism. There were some guys around 17th and 18th centuries that looked at scientific experiences as a way of learning. Somewhere like John Locke, one of them. There are about three of them. And throughout the years to date, a lot of disciplines have accepted it. Even in life, we do accept that in life these days, that we learn based on examples, experiences, observations. Scrum, which is one of the project management methodology, in its 6 principles, one of the principles and the core pillar of it is empirical process control. It tells you that it's very important. It is one of the 6 principles, which bring the fact when you talk about principles, you're looking at something being very important. Something is based on when something is based on the principles, you take it serious. Principles are very important when we have to accept a discipline or accept a field of knowledge. Understanding the principle helps us to know what we need to know in it, why is it important, and what we don't need. I used to work in a team where a product owner once came to me and said, "We don't need to follow the principles in Scrum, it's not important." I didn't know where that was coming from though, but I need to think properly, not to make a mistake. I need to understand. This is the mindset. Why does a product owner have to say this? There should be a reason behind it. Yeah, she said this because she wants to micromanage the team. And for the team to follow the principles, she felt it's going to affect her leadership style. And she decides that they're going to use Scrum. So why do you have to use Scrum when you don't want to follow the principles of it? In life generally, I've come to realize that if you don't have principles in life, people are going to step on your toe. People are going to do things the way you don't like. People are going to try you and see if you're going to accept it. But when you have principles, they know their boundaries. They know what to do and what not to do with you. So when somebody creates an idea, a field of knowledge like Scrum, body of knowledge, and somebody comes and says, "I'm not going to follow your principles," then are you practicing Scrum then? Definitely no, you're not. As long as you're not following the principles, you are not. This is just by the way, because we're looking at the principles. The reason why this is important. We're looking at empirical process control in Scrum, which has to do with examples and experience and observations. Let's just look at it, quickly have a flow of the principles in Scrum, part of all the Scrum principles, which are the first one, which is empirical process control. We have self-organized organization, we have collaboration, we have time boxing, we have iterative development, and we have value-based prioritization. All these principles are very important, but one of the most important, which Scrum is based on, is empirical process control. Empirical process control has 3 pillars in it, which are transparency, inspection, and adaptation. When you look at transparency, everything in Scrum has to be transparent. Not that it has to be transparent. Everything in Scrum is transparent based on this principle. What do? Let's look at the things we do in Scrum and let's see if they're actually transparent. When you come to Scrum, let's start with the meetings we have. You have daily stand-up meetings. We have review meeting. Review meeting is transparent. The daily stand-up meeting is transparent because that's where people come together and discuss what they have done, what they are doing, and what are the problems they have. And with that, you can really see what your team member is doing, what they're working on, so it's actually transparent. Then we have the information radiators, like the Scrum boards, the charts, like the burn down chart, the burn up charts, the velocity charts, and so on. These are visible to everybody. Everybody in a team is going to see it. If you are in the team, it's free for you to see this. Stakeholders are allowed to see it. Everybody sees this. Then we have I spoke about the review meeting. Yeah, it's also transparent because people coming together to see what the team has done, and it's transparent. Then we have the release planning schedule. It's also transparent. Everybody sees that on the board. Sees what time, what are they going to do, when are they releasing, what is the version we're on, what version are going to be released. Is transparent. So we can see that a lot of aspects of Scrum is very transparent. Then what about inspection? We inspect a lot of things. We inspect the daily backlog, which is also transparent. It's been inspected. Release plan is also inspected. Schedule is inspected. Review meeting, which the other word for it is inspect and adapt, is also inspected. There, the team, the stakeholder comes together and look at what has been developed and see if they did the right thing they were supposed to do. So they inspect it too. So yeah, those are part of inspection. Then what of adaptation? What do we adapt to in Scrum? Retrospective, like I said earlier. The team come together at the meeting for retrospection, like the project retrospective and the sprint retrospective. Those two meetings are part of adaptation. Whatever you learned, you adapt to it. You have a change. Sometimes you even have an owner for each action items that you chose among the team members that discusses them. Then inspection and adapt, we also have the sprints. The daily stand-up meeting is also a way to inspect on what the team is working on, though, for the inspection and adapt. Then aside from that too, understanding that is inspection and adapt. So guys, how do we bring this to life? Already we've understood that this is a core pillar in Scrum. It's very important that every Scrum team uses empiricism. Even generally, as a team, if you don't use this in a team, it always brings a problem to your team. A very good way in which we can learn, because inspection, like I said, empiricism has to do with you learn by example, is whatever you do. It's easier when you see somebody has done it before, or you learn by your own example or from other people's example. Let's take a look at your own example. For sometimes you make a mistake. Do you learn from it? Do you adapt? One good thing about making a mistake is that once you make a mistake, when you troubleshoot it and find a solution, it sticks, it doesn't leave. When someone else is come around you that faces the same problem or challenges, it's easy for you to help them out. Observation is also very important too, because sometimes you see, like kids, when they're growing up, before they start walking, before they start a baby step thing, you see they observe those that are walking. How do they walk over time? What they do, they start doing the same thing. They start walking, and we do that. When we do that, what do? It sticks. We don't forget. So you see why it's important in Scrum. When we talk about inspect and adapt, it's so important. Even in our day-to-day activities in our life, it's also important that we observe this. If, let's take a look, you want to buy a car now, and you don't have a lot of money, but you have little amount of money to buy it, and you're not the type of person that is transparent. You don't really tell people what you want to do. You keep them to yourself. What happens when you want to buy the car is you're going to make a mistake, definitely, especially if you don't have an experience, personal experience, and you've not observed somebody buying a car and knowing how they did it. But let's assume you have an example of somebody that has done it before. You go to the person, you transparent to them and say, please, I want to get a car, but I have this amount of money. Maybe I have like small money which I want to get a value for. The persons can now guide you and say, you know what, can you come here? I think I know someone that has bought and they actually got a nice one. Or can also tell you, I know someone that has such, but they couldn't get a nice one based on experience or observation. This can help us not to make a lot of mistakes in life. Also, generally, guys, when we're looking at on our daily life, our day-to-day activities, it can also help us too. I'm talking of empiricism. Nobody wants to make a mistake. But assuming that you are trying to get something and you're not able to get it, what happens? And you try to find a way around it and you don't know how you can get it, or you're trying to make a decision and you can't really make the decision the way you should make it. How do you go along it? There's a book I was reading some time ago about critical thinking. It talks about how to make a decision, a good decision. And there are 2 points that stood out in that chapter, which was logical reasoning and evidence-based decision making. When you think logically, you make less mistakes. Think about the problem, think about the thing you want to do. Then have an evidence. Do you have evidence of those that have done in the past and they achieve what they want to do? Think about it. This is an aspect in which I'm looking at our own life personally. I'm not just looking at a team. I'm looking at as individuals. How do we break even with this? There was a time I was I went through a tragic scenario, a tragic cycle in life. Then at that stage I need to do some investigation, some research. This is religious based research, Christianity actually, which I was looking at the subject matter. When the Christian holy book talks about resurrection, do they have anything to base it on to show that this actually happened? Because looking at it from the other point of view, it doesn't seem logical that because a lot of people have died and we've not seen them rise up in our own era, we've not seen it, but the book tells us there are people that have risen up. Is that really true? I started making my own research to see if that is possible. Then I realized that actually in the past there were archaeological evidence that proved that Lazarus was raised up. That gave me what is an evidence for me. There were evidence that proves that. So we can see that evidence goes a long way in helping us make a decision. The way we reason, logical reasoning is also very important. The way we reason logically is important in anything we do. Whatever it is we find ourselves in life, maybe we are in a team, working in a team, we need to use empiricism. Whatever it is in life, making a decision in life, whatever it is we're doing in life, carrying out our life activities, our life, whatever it is, we need empiricism. It is important. It makes things easier. Just think about you went to school and all you did was theoretical. And you never observed somebody, maybe you did, let's say, mechanical engineering, and you never saw somebody working on a machine. Are you going to come out and proudly say you are a mechanical engineer? No, definitely no. But if you've observed somebody and you've worked on it, you have personal experience in it, then you can come out and say it because you have done it. So this is something that is very important, which I brought to us this afternoon, and I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you have something to learn from it. If you have any question, any comment, please put it on the comment section, and please subscribe to my channel. And please, if you like the video, click on like and share to those that is going to benefit. Thank you guys.